Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Astroguide Mysore. So today we are trying to understand the medical astrology with regard to Rahu and its significations. So all planets starting from Sun till Saturn represent different parts of the body, different functionalities of the body. Like for example, when I spoke about Sun, I told that it is the operating part, the eyes itself. For the moon, I told it is the sight, not the eyes, but the sight. And there are many other parts which I have associated with other planets. Like yesterday when we spoke, Saturn represents the feet, the limbs, particularly the lower limbs, because Mars represents the upper limbs, the hands. But in the case of Rahu, if you go through my video of chakras, which I will actually put it in the end screen, please go through this video. You will understand, starting from the Sahasrara chakra to the Mooladhara chakra, you have all chakras associated with 7 planets: Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, and Saturn. So that is from the Sahasrara chakra to the Mooladhara chakra. Then what about Rahu and Ketu? As science also says that Rahu and Ketu are just nodes where a lot of strength, magnetic flux is there, Grahana Shakti is there, and that is why we call it a Graha. That is, gravity is there, that is, there is a pulling force which pulls into, and that is why we call it as Graha. But a physical manifestation is not seen, that is, you can see through that point. There is nothing opaque, there is no solid formation as a Graha or what we call as a planet for both Rahu and Ketu, but that is why they keep calling it different names. And some people, because these points are the points which are reference points for understanding eclipses, so they kept the name as shadowy planets. That is because when the eclipse happens, you can see the shadow over Earth or the shadow over Moon. So you can see lunar and solar eclipses like that. So they started calling them as shadowy planets. But with regard to medical astrology, we should understand the signification of Rahu in certain different ways, because you need to take that knowledge of the shadowy planet, other things like Dhumra Varnam, smoky in color. Why is smoke referred to Rahu? Once again, smoke is not entirely a physical manifestation which can be, you know, directly handled. That's how, it was, you can prove me in physics that yes, smoke is made of small particles and molecules which are so light that they float in the air and they are still opaque because they contain particles of opaqueness, and that is why light doesn't pass through it, and there is impurity in it, and that is why it is called a smoke. I also understand that because I also studied a little bit of physics in my graduation. But let us understand this astrologically. Smoke, the one which will pervade every space, wherever the wind blows, the smoke simply scatters into it. The same thing if you take it into the body part, all those spaces in the body cavity and those intercellular spaces in the tissues of all the organs has a little bit of space where accumulation of fat, unnecessary compounds, impurities, foreign bodies can happen. which will not have a major effect on us until it starts becoming unmanageable. Because if a person is of a correct height and a correct weight, and he increases 2 kilos of weight, so there is no particular calendar or a particular tabular column where you will tell a 5 feet 5 inches man should be only this heavy. You cannot do that. If he is an athlete, his BMI will be very perfect, but his weight will not be as normal as the person who is not an athlete of the same age and the same height. So what is actually happening is that the accumulation of fat, or let us say water, or let us say fluids, not water, fluids, into the body cavity is controlled by Rahu. It's not only the body cavity but also the intercellular spaces of any organ. So, Rahu, wherever it is posited in the horoscope, with whatever planet it is posited in the horoscope, where it is aspecting or afflicting. So, because I don't take the aspect of Rahu, there are many people who take the aspect of Rahu as fifth and ninth, like the Jupiter's aspect 5, 9, 7. But I don't take the aspect of Rahu and Ketu. I keep them where they are, and I tackle them with the nakshatra and the Rashi and the degree where Rahu and Ketu are posited from the ascendant, moon, and the sun. So it's a different theory what I use. So I use it personally. So people can use the other theories which are propounded in many other textbooks. So that is their prerogative. So thing is, Rahu, if associated, as I said, with a certain Rashi, Chara Rashi, Sthira Rashi, Dvisabhava Rashi, kinds of Rashi, certain Rashi, if Rahu is exalted, debilitated, malefically posited, weakly posited, strongly posited, it all depends, the variations. Or if Rahu is associated with benefics, or if Rahu is associated with natural malefics, natural benefics or natural malefics, natural benefics like Jupiter, Venus, Moon, and a benefic Mercury, natural malefics like Mars, Saturn, Sun. So if these planets are associated, there are certain different kinds of difficulties or diseases what a person might acquire because of its position over a particular organ as per the Drekkana T3 chart. So I will put both Drekkana and the chakras in the end screen. Please use your time. Please put some more time into it. It's an interesting chapter for all those astrological enthusiasts. So let us go into Rahu now. So as it is not specifically pertaining to any particular body part, it can be anywhere or everywhere or nowhere, depending on how you maintain your body. So Rahu can be thrown out by practicing strict measures of routine, particularly avoiding all that is not important as food. Try to think about this. There are many food objects or food items, not objects, items, what we consume, which were not available or which was not used traditionally by our forefathers at all. Did our forefathers live their good life or not? They lived. They had not even seen these items. I'll give you a very simple example. There is a beautiful chocolate ice cream called Death by Chocolate. Beautiful ice cream. Excellent. From which perspective? From the tongue's perspective, not from your stomach. That's why my Guruji would always say, and yesterday I was talking to my son about this. That which is nice to your tongue might not be nice to your stomach. And that which is not nice to your tongue and is a food may be nice to your stomach. It's not that always that the one which is nice to your tongue is always nice to your stomach. So such a nice way to say that watch your watch what you eat and restrict what goes into your body, so that that is the one which gets digested and gets accumulated, and that accumulation is nothing but Rahu. How you live your life, if you put too much stress on your body, all those toxics and all those toxics which are released in the body will get accumulated, and that is Rahu. So no stress, happy life, peaceful life, good living, and good food and good diet, no Rahu problems at all. So the diseases which are actually to be cited from Rahu or seen from Rahu are tough diseases. These are, faint people cannot take this Rahu easily. And but people who are going to become astrologers are watching this video, so you need to understand every intricate, difficulties what a person can go through. So if Rahu is very tough placed, people can go through immune diseases, and the toughest immune disease, one of them is leprosy. Autoimmune problems where you can get a blood test done, and you will know that either you have an autoimmune or not. The doctor will suggest anyway. You don't have to run and get a blood test done unnecessarily. So all carcinomic problems, carcinogenic food should not be eaten. You should know that chemicals have to be negated totally. You should ban all those foods in which carcinogenic chemicals are used. It's very difficult to ban them because they are getting their approvals from what all institutions are there to give approvals, God knows. So we are consuming a lot of chemicals in our food nowadays. Chemically used or fertilized plant life also gives a lot of negative, uh, you know, toxic problems to the tissues, which may cause failures like kidney failures, carcinogenic problems where you get the breast cancer, etc., etc., etc. So many other problems of Rahu. And this is very clearly to be seen by the association, conjunction, and the placement of Rahu. The mind also gets disassociated with the sanity and starts getting into insanity because of Rahu. So mental problems, especially if it is afflicted by weak planets, or it is conjunct by weak planets like Mercury, like Moon, or a Saturn which is down, debilitated, or very weak in the Shadbala. Phobias, problems of dementia, problems of like Alzheimer's, like schizophrenia, etc. Parkinson's, particularly Parkinson's, Rahu, very dangerous. So, transmitted diseases. I heard that people, when they do foreign travel, they are given some, they have to go through advisory boards, medical advisory boards, where they need to take a certificate when they are going from one country to another country, especially countries where you have certain kinds of diseases which is not at all in your country. You are not immune to those viruses and bacteria or microbial problems. So come to a country, you'll need to, when you go back, you need to get a health checkup done. And these kinds of transmissions can happen in the period of Rahu. So whenever you are in the period of Rahu, or in the sub period of Rahu, or the sub period, that is the Pratyantara Dasha of Rahu, please be careful when you are traveling that you should not get airborne diseases, insect, transmitted diseases like the dengues, the chikungunyas, the seses. Sese is such a tough thing. We call it as the fly which can make you sleep and go to death. So it's particularly in one part of Africa, but more than this, it's very clear that it's not that a particular country is having a lot of diseases. No, nothing like that. You are not immune to that particular part of the world. So when you're traveling, you should check your chart whether you are going in a particular period of Rahu, so you can avoid that period and see that you can go in some other period. You can travel in some other period. That's the only caution which I'm giving. And also transmitted diseases through local transmission, like sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. Okay, unidentified problems, like suddenly a person who doesn't know anything about skin diseases or skin ailments will suddenly start getting psoriasis, eczema, or hives, or other problems of immune, will suddenly be startled, because all these years everything was fine, and suddenly I'm getting dandruff, suddenly I'm getting hair fall. From where? You can't pinpoint a problem for hair fall. You can't pinpoint a problem for dandruff. You know that there is dandruff, but dandruff is everywhere. Why is not the other person suffering from it, and why am I suffering from it? Immune problems. So immune problems are created because of, they come up in your life because of the routines which are favoring Rahu rather than anti Rahu. So dental problems, particularly the plaque which gets developed, and it gives you difficulties of the gums becoming very weak, and you are getting what we call as shaky teeth, or the teeth which is getting rotten from below, have to get the root canal done, and all these things. This is all problems again created by Rahu. So these other diseases which I have been wiped out to a certain extent but not fully eliminated, like the you know smallpox, chickenpox, um, cholera, malaria, plague. All these diseases are under the signification of Rahu, which actually, what Rahu is? It's like a swarm. It comes, it attacks, and it attacks without, you know, choosing. It's not choosy. It takes everybody under its gambit. So that means Rahu simply comes like a flood. It's like a swarm. So we need to be very aware that anytime, like Corona, what happened? Particularly, Corona happened when there was a confluence of Rahu, Ketu, and Rahu was, I think, in Mithuna Rashi. Yes, Ketu was in Sagittarius. Saturn was in. There are a lot of planets in Sagittarius. There is a video on this. I have done this video. I don't remember the number, but I have done a video on Corona. You can type Corona in my search in my thing. You can get it. In the YouTube playlist. You can type Corona. You can get COVID. You can type COVID or Corona. You will get it. So you can understand what made this happen. So diseases which can be cured or which require local medicines, Siddhaushadha. So Ayurveda, Siddha medicine, Unani medicine, homeopathy, local medicines which are community based medicines are very important for curing your problems of Rahu. So inflammatory diseases, this is one thing which is very important that you should understand, that inflammatory disease does not mean that you get burnt somewhere. No. It's like, let us say, the prostate inflammation. Men suffer from this after a particular age, that their prostate suddenly gets inflamed and it bulges up and it starts squeezing the urinary tract, the urethra, I think. Then the passing the urine becomes a huge difficulty for the man. So same way, there are other inflammations which internally happen in the intestine, inflammation in the liver, inflammation of the gallbladder. So these have to be taken care of. When I am talking about Rahu, I should not skip what happened from the past 1 week after the Pahalgam attack. We had spoken about the Rahu Saturn confluence, and that video also, if I am able to put it in the end screen, I'll put that. You please go through that video. It has been done months back. So the just when the Rahu Saturn were coming into a particular angle, I have done that video in the orb of influence. So these attacks don't happen on that day when they both meet. This is a you know planned, criminal planning which is done by dirty minds who are cowards inside, but would always want to inflict pain on others because they are inhuman by normal nature. They are not human beings, so they come and do all this nonsense. So you can understand that the confluence of Rahu Saturn is such a dangerous confluence. It is not yet over. It's not yet over. Now, as on date, I think both the countries have come under a ceasefire agreement, and hope, God bless, that it is over and we don't have any more problems as such, because both the countries have suffered a lot. The normal people have suffered. Forget about the countries. Country is nothing but those people who make that nation. Both the nations have suffered a lot. The people have suffered. So we don't want these crooks, these militants and terrorists who are unnecessarily causing problem everywhere in the world. We don't want them to be eliminated. That is what every nation wants. So, forgetting what the ethics and non-ethics are, coming back to astrology, Rahu Saturn, Rahu Jupiter. I have done a video on Rahu Jupiter and I have named it as wisdom hijacked. When Viveka becomes Aviveka, that is, Viveka means wisdom. Aviveki is a person who doesn't follow any wisdom. He is a fool who does things which are reverse to all that accepted, social ethics. He does reverse to it. He is called as aviveki, who goes against wisdom. So I have done a lot of videos on Rahu, Jupiter, Rahu, Mercury, and Rahu, Saturn. Please take time, slowly go through these videos. You will understand how these effects of these planets, when they come together, affect the society and our world. So thank you very much for today's class.